Hey guys, this is Pooka and welcome to episode number 10 of Poké Center, your home for Pokemon TCG news, tournament results, and more. In this week's episode, we'll be talking about Battle Road results that are actually now over in the US, regional championships that are coming up in a couple weeks, Dragon Vault set that just came out, and Boundaries Crossed. We got some scans from that set as well. So all that's coming up here next on Poké Center. Kick things off, we'll talk about the Autumn Battle Road results that have just finished actually in the US. This past weekend was the last one for this season's Battle Roads for the autumn. They'll be back in the spring, but this rotation of Battle Roads is now over and we had some interesting results overall. Now remember, Battle Roads this year, they have no top cut, at least in the US, which means it's just Swiss rounds only. No top cut after that. Like it or not, that's just the way it was this year, and we just kind of had to roll with it. The result was attendance actually went up quite a bit compared to last year's tournaments. Whatever the reason that may be, that the tournaments ran quicker, that the game just has more players now, whatever it is, the end result is that Battle Road numbers are up. Some venues couldn't even hold all the players. And, I mean, we usually had like 6 or 7 rounds at each of these tournaments, and they were very, very competitive. Now, we've heard that Pokemon wants the Battle Roads to be just these entry-level tournaments, you know, where people can just go and have fun. Yet they decided to keep championship points at the Battle Roads, which made them extremely competitive still. Now, they did get done quicker because there's no top cut afterwards, so it was just straight Swiss rounds, but you have to admit, they became pretty competitive still, and I don't think they hit the goal of just making these casual tournaments, but who knows? Attendance went up, that's probably all that matters. Now, as for the decks that did well, number 1 was electric variants. Now, this can vary between, probably the most popular one was just Rayquaza and electric. Now, this can feature Rayquaza EX normally. The one that has Dragon Burst. So the strategy is get a bunch of electrics out, use Dynamotor, keep powering up that Rayquaza EX, so you can just Dragon Burst and knock everything out in one hit. People would also feature the Shiny Rayquaza, which was very, very good, but it's a little expensive. It cost about $80, so that's probably the reason why we didn't see it too often. But there were players that did have these, that played them in their deck, and it's a very, very strong card as well. So the Rayquaza electric version, probably the most popular. The next one would be just straight up, you know, you play Mewtwo. Sort of like what Kevin Nance used at US Nationals last year. Just, you load up a Mewtwo with a bunch of energy and you X-Ball. That's your main strategy. You can feature Zekrom and Raikou EX as well. But for the most part, it's just Mewtwo, and you just X-Ball until you win. That's pretty much all there is to it. Now, the second most successful deck in Battle Roads was the Darkrai Hydreigon deck. Now, this was not far behind. I think Electric had about 90 top 4 finishes overall, and Hydreigon was not too far behind with about 80. So both these decks very popular, very successful. Of course, Darkrai EX is always going to be a very, very good card. Night Spear is an incredible attack. You have the support with Dark Patch, and, you know, it gives everything free retreat. Pretty much a perfect card overall. I mean, it does pretty much everything you could hope for. Obviously, this is a very strong card. You pair it up with Hydreigon, which has the Dark Trance ability. You get to move energy all around, and then once your Pokemon get hurt, you just play Max Potion, heal it off, and you continue attacking as if nothing happened. Very similar to the Kling Klang deck that John Roberts II used to win US Nationals this past year. So, we're seeing a lot of old decks kind of remade for the new format. But we are seeing some new innovations with stuff like the Rayquaza and such. So those are the two top decks, Electric and Hydreigon. By far, those are the most popular. We've also had some other decks do well, though. We've had stuff like Ho-Oh EX, or you just use it as energy acceleration to power up your other attackers, like Mewtwo, Terrakion, all that kind of stuff. Ho-Oh has actually won quite a few Battle Roads, so that's a deck to look out for. We've also seen more recently simpler Darkrai decks without Hydreigon. They just play either straight Darkrai with Sableye, and then use Crushing Hammer to slow your opponent down. The Hammer Time deck that Essa from the Deck Out used at his Nationals last year, that's pretty much what it is. You just go Darkrai all the way, Crushing Hammer, try to slow them down. Pretty much all there is to it. Simple, consistent, fast, great deck. We've also seen people feature Terrakion in their Darkrai decks. That's actually the deck I've been using recently. Just Darkrai with Sableye, and then you splash in a Terrakion there too, so you can knock out other Darkrai's. Other decks that are doing well are some Empoleon variants, usually with Terrakion as well. We've also seen an Empoleon Excelgor deck start to do well. Overall, these decks, they are around, but when it comes down to it, the top two decks by far are Electric and a Hydreigon. So we'll see how these results impact the metagame as we move forward into regionals. Autumn Regional Championships are coming up in less than 2 weeks, so if you're not ready, get ready. The format will be exactly the same as the Battle Road formats, which has been just black and white to Dragons Exalted. Promos are allowed as well, just the black and white promos, but same format as you've been playing in Battle Road, so nothing has changed. No new sets are allowed, nothing like that. Exactly the same format. Now this is similar to what we did last year. You know, Battle Roads were Heart Gold, Soul Silver up into Emerging Powers, and then the first regional was the same thing. So nothing has changed there. The thing that has changed is that regionals are now split into 3 weekends. You have one in the autumn, one in the winter, and one in the spring. So your regionals have been spread out a little bit more. They have not added any new locations this year, but they've just been spread out into 3 different weekends to give players more opportunities to get to these regional championships. So, for the autumn ones, which will be taking place October 13th and 14th, remember they are 2-day events. They will be taking place in Fort Wayne, Indiana, Houston, Texas, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Santa Clara, California, and then there's one in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. So those will be the ones in North America that are happening in less than 2 weeks. So be sure to hit up your regional championships. They are very important if you're trying to qualify for the World Championships this year. Of course, the championship point system has changed a little bit. They changed the point structure actually quite a lot. Now you have to get 400 points in order to qualify for Worlds, and they've inflated the number of points that each tournament gives. For example, Battle Roads now give 15 points for first place. Regionals, the prize for that, first place gets 120 points, second place gets 110, and I think third and fourth get like 90, and so on and so forth. The whole point system is outlined on Pokemon.com if you want to check that out. We also have it outlined on our site, thetopcut.net, if you want to check that out. But winning one of these regional championships will be huge for all the players who can manage to do so. Granted, that's only going to be 5 people, but 120 points, that's over a quarter of the points that you need to qualify for Worlds. That's a lot. You only have 280 to go after you get those initial 120. That's pretty big. So winning regionals is going to be very important. It's going to give someone a boost while on their way to Vancouver this year, and that's huge. Now the prizes have changed though. You still get, if you finish first in all 3 divisions, you get a travel award to go to your national championship. I mean, if you win the one in America, you get to go to Indianapolis. If you win the one in Canada, you get to go to... sorry, I don't remember where it is in Canada, but you get to go there. They pay for your flight, your hotel, all that good stuff. Pretty much a free trip to the national championship. So that is a huge prize. The thing that changed is that top 4 for juniors and seniors now get a $500 travel stipend to attend the national championships. Now you might notice I left out the Masters, and that's because they don't get that perk. Now this caused a lot of controversy, a lot of complaining from the player base, saying why does Masters not get the same prizes as the lower divisions? But it is what it is, not going to get into it right now. And juniors and seniors have an opportunity, top 40 get $500 to go to Nationals. That'll help their parents pay their way there. So that is what has changed. For regional championships, really there's nothing else to say about it. It's the same format. You can earn a lot of championship points. It's at one of 5 locations. So be sure to get to regional championships October 13th and 14th. It'll be a fun time no matter what. For the first time, Pokemon has released a mini set called Dragon Vault that will include a whole lot of Dragon type cards and some trainers. Now most of these are brand new Dragon type cards. We have like Salamence and Latios and Latias, all this sorts of stuff. But there are a couple reprints. The most notable one is the Secret Rare Rayquaza from Dragons Exalted. Now this card, as I mentioned earlier, is worth about $80, but it's being released in this mini set. So this is a great opportunity for people to get this card. Now it's about $12 in the US. You get one special stamped promo card. It's either Latios, Latias, Rayquaza, Haxorus, or Druddigon, I believe. Those are the 5 you can get automatically that have the special stamp on them. So the fact that you can get Rayquaza just by buying this in the first place is great for all players. It's going to help you build that electric Rayquaza deck if you want to, and it just gives players more access to these cards. Now, the packs, the whole set you can buy, it comes with one of the stamp promos, then you get 3 packs as well. Comes with 5 holo cards in each pack, so it's kind of neat. All of the cards are holographic from this set. So, a great opportunity to get some nice looking cards, some playable ones. But the main thing here, these are not playable for regionals. So do not show up to your regional championships with these cards because you cannot play them. The only exception to that is the cards that were reprinted. This means you can play the Rayquaza, which is good. You still don't have to shell out $80 for your Rayquazas. So you can use the Rayquaza, the Super Rod, and also the EXP share. You cannot use any other cards. So I just want to make sure everybody knows Dragon Vault is not legal for the regional championships. The official release date for the set is October 15th, which is the day after regionals. So don't show up planning on using these cards. Still, really cool that we're getting this mini set. I think it's a step in the right direction. In terms of releasing competitive cards, it's been nice. With this and the tins before that had Darkrai, Rayquaza, and Mewtwo, that was awesome. And I'm hoping more stuff like this comes out in the future so that it's easier to get your hands on these highly competitive cards. So Dragon Vault, it's already started popping up in stores. It's going to be legal October 15th. Don't plan on using it for regionals, again. I don't know if I've gotten that point across yet. But yeah, go pick up this stuff. It's really cool. It's a brand new set. The cards look awesome. And we have an interesting new trainer. But I'll discuss that when it's legal. PokeBeach.com has released scans from the next full set, which is going to be Boundaries Crossed. Now this set does not come out until November, which means it will be legal for city championships, but until then, not legal, but we get to take a look at some new cards. There are 3 EXs that have been revealed. That would be Landorus EX, cool looking fighting type that should shake things up quite a bit, has some nice attacks. We have the Black Kyurem EX, which it's Dragon type, so another Dragon type EX. Another Kyurem EX. If you're confused, there's now a Black and a White Kyurem EX to coincide with the release of Black and White 2. So then there's also the White Kyurem EX as well. These are 2 different cards. They look completely different, but they are separate cards, separate names. You can use both of them in a deck, I'm pretty sure. And they both have their own special attributes. And there is also the trainer card. It's an A-Spec card, Crystal Edge, which you can attach to the White Kyurem EX. That was also released. Makes it do 50 more damage. So we'll see if those cards end up having any impact on the game. But I think the coolest thing that people want to look at from this newest set is we got scans of a new Charizard Oh man, and a Blastoise. So, people always love Charizard and Blastoise. These are like the two big guys from, the early days when we only had 151 Pokemon. These are the original guys that really represented Pokemon. I mean, Charizard, he was just the man. Everybody wanted it. Everybody needed it. So we finally have another one being printed. They both look like cool cards. The Blastoise could be a very competitive card. I don't think the Charizard will be. Its attack costs quite a bit. So I don't think the Charizard will see much play. But the Blastoise has a lot of potential. It's very similar to the Emboar we have now with Inferno Fandango. But we'll see how that works out. So Boundaries Cross coming out in November. It'll be illegal for cities. Looks like a good set so far. But we'll see when it comes out. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of Poké Center. Hope you enjoyed it. Had lots of fun learning about all this new stuff that's going on in the Pokemon world. Please, as always, leave feedback for me. So let me know how I can improve. Let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, that kind of stuff. I'm doing this show for you guys, so just let me know what I can do to improve it. Make it more exciting. Of course, I can only be so exciting because I'm a fairly boring person, but I'll do what I can. Just a reminder that regional championships, once again, are in about 2 weeks. We'll be trying to stream live from wherever we can. I will be attending the Fort Wayne, Indiana regionals. We'll see what we can do there. Michael Prema will be attending the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania regionals. So we'll have some good coverage, but be sure to let us know. Get on Twitter during the tournament. Tweet at us at TopCutPokemon, and let us know how your tournaments are going so we can keep up to date with all the results and spread the word about how tournaments are going. Another reminder is that our show, The Top Cut, is returning this Thursday night, so you can hear us talk about the Battle Roads results, what's going to happen at regionals, and all sorts of stuff that's happening in the Pokemon community. So that'll take place Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our stream page, twitch.tv/thetopcut. So be sure to check that out as well. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. I am Pooka. This has been Poké Center, and I'll see you guys next time.